Hey guys, welcome to Sidewalks Entertainment. Right now you're seeing a overview of the beautiful San Francisco over there. You can see some boats and everything. It's a little overcast day, but it's and a little cold, but we're here today to keep you warm because it's time for Sidewalks. Thanks everybody for watching. My name is Richard R. Lee. We got a good show coming up. Let's find out what's happening.
Hey everybody, I'm Cindy Rhodes, and coming up on Sidewalks, we're going to introduce you to a folk-Americana singer-songwriter who is an amazing talent right here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and she's coming up right here on Sidewalks.
Thank you, Cindy. We have the music and exclusive interview with Emily Zisman. Sidewalks Entertainment begins right now.
Hi, this is Emily Zisman, and in my song, How to Leave California, I explore the complexities of how to leave a home that you love so much because it is no longer your home. Here is How to Leave California on Sidewalks Entertainment.
I've been trying for days, for weeks, for months, for years, just to leave this town, just to leave this town. There's something in the water, in the air, in the grass, in the ground, keeping me around, keeping me around. And he's promised me nothing I can't get anywhere else, and the people just get colder every day. He's selling his soul for a digital dust bowl and shanty towns under the highway. This is how you leave California. This is how you say goodbye. This is how you leave California. Fill your gas tank with all those tears you thought you'd cry. I've been trying for days, for weeks, for months, for years, just to leave this town, just to leave this town. There's something in the water, in the air, in the grass, in the ground, keeping me around, keeping me around. Don't be fooled by his beauty, he will drain you dry, and you'll realize that love is not enough. Pardon your dance with the devil, cut yourself some slack, 'cause that calm down is gonna be rough. Oh, that calm down is gonna be rough. This is how you leave California. This is how you say goodbye. This is how you leave California. Fill your gas tank with all those tears you thought you'd cry. This is how you leave California. This is how you say goodbye. This is how you leave
I'm excited to introduce our guest today. I'm a huge fan of hers. She's a singer-songwriter whose musical influences include Joni Mitchell, Emmylou Harris, and Ani DeFranco. I'm excited to welcome Emily Zisman to Sidewalks. Hey, thanks so much for being with us today, Emily.
Hi, Cindy. It's so good to see you.
Emily, so tell me a little bit about where you're from and how your musical journey began.
I was born in Alta Bates right here in Berkeley, and I guess a lot of people say they were singing in the womb. I sang whenever I could open my mouth, so me too.
So where did the inspiration to write songs kind of first begin? How did you develop that?
So I think I started writing in high school when I had my little 3/4 size guitar that I got when I was 8 years old with me at high school for some reason. And I picked it up, I guess, to explore my angsty feelings as a teenager. I needed an outlet to talk about things that were hard to talk about otherwise. And that's kind of how I came about it.
I mentioned that your musical influences were Joni Mitchell, Emmylou Harris, and Ani DeFranco. What inspires you about those particular artists?
So Emmylou Harris and Joni Mitchell were musicians that I grew up with. My mom was always playing records in the house, and these are songs that stuck with me. I think the first song I remember hearing ever was Michael from the Mountains, which was from, I think, Joni's first album. And Ani DeFranco was the first woman I listened to, and I bought her album, Not a Pretty Girl, when I was in college in Manhattan. And I was just kind of exploring performing outside of my little room where I played for myself, that I realized that I could sing about any emotion, including anger. And I was like, oh, I can talk about these things? I can sing about them? Okay. And then I kind of leaned into all the feelings that I had as far as songwriting went.
Do you remember the very first song that you ever wrote, and what was it about?
The first song that I wrote was when I was 14, and it was called Device. And I was in a Bible study class as a Jewish girl in high school, and I was exploring all of these themes and recognizing that women weren't really the main characters of any of these parables or stories. And I was unpacking what that meant as far as my experience as a 14-year-old girl. And unfortunately, that experienced a lot of like gaslighting and abuse and things like that. And I was like, well, where do these stories factor into the Bible? Which I understood at that age were backdrops to so many of the bigger stories we saw in media. And I needed to understand that more. And so I started kind of writing about that, and that's where Device came from.
Coming up, more with Emily Zisman on Sidewalks Entertainment. Stay with us.
Now you can find our TV show in more places. You can download our apps from the Apple Store, Google Play, and your favorite streaming services by searching Sidewalks Entertainment. On social media, you can find us on the major platforms at Sidewalks TV Show, and of course, our website at sidewalkstv.com.
Hi, my name is Emily Zisman, and my song Hope is about dating in the modern world. Here's Hope on Sidewalks Entertainment.
I had a little wine, and then I took a little time to tell you how I feel about you. When you quickly looked away, I knew you didn't feel the same, though I thought that it was real. But I've been wrong before. Thought I'd never see the porch side of the door, and I've belonged before. And I am waiting, I'm just waiting for that feeling to repeat. But I don't know which words to listen for, whose face I'm supposed to see. But I know what I'm here for, and I know what I'm supposed to do. I just hope that you see it too. I spent a lot of days just trying to make my way through the time I had to spend. And when I found myself some joy, I'd be discovered by a boy looking for some joy to bend his way. But I've been down that way before. It's never led me anywhere there's more. So I tip my hat and say, I am waiting, I just wait to see some joy that you have made. I want to see what pumps your heart for you and how you spend your days. 'Cause I know what I'm here for, and I know what I'm supposed to do. I just hope you know what that is for you.
Let's talk about your creative process. How do you actually start writing a song? Where do you begin?
That's a good question. Songwriting for me comes in many roads. There's a lot of crossroads and off-ramps and on-ramps. Sometimes I start with lyrics, with an idea. Sometimes I start with a melody or a picking pattern that I'm practicing, and then the words come. But I do spend a lot of time waiting for traffic to pass, so I go find a coffee shop or a bar and I have a notebook, and that's where a lot of my ideas start. And then I bring them into a melody later.
Let's talk about your album, the Haunted album. Where did that come from? What is the inspiration for this album?
So yeah, the Haunted album is a 4-song EP that kind of came out a little bit out of the pandemic. The first song, Don't Let the Devil, was actually the last idea of the album. I needed a 4th song, and I was exploring these themes of what it means to be in service of good personally. And we all have different definitions of what good is, but how do I want to behave most authentically to my own sense of value? And it's kind of like a little bit of a meditation of like, how do I remind myself what the next best thing to do is? And so it's this little bit of a kind of a list of don't do this, don't listen to this, don't feel this, not don't feel anything, but if you feel this, maybe question it. And so Don't Let the Devil was a bit of an exploration of any moment, like how do I make the next best choice? And that ended up being the first song on the album. The second song, Ghost Girl, is an exploration or a study of what it means to be a girl moving through womanhood in a world that will see you in some light and not see you in another. So it's a little bit of a feeling of schizophrenia of like, how do I have a control of when I want to be seen and I don't want to be seen? And what that means. And then the third song, Without Strings, is a result of a bad decision I made that I know I was making in the time, but I was kind of curious about what would happen when I did it. And it was exactly as I could have predicted, but I don't think I would have done it any other way. It did show me a lot about what is possible when you make a decision with the wrong person. And then Nebraska is the song that I ended with on that album, which is a little bit of a departure from the haunted theme, but it was the first song that I wrote out of the pandemic in a songwriting retreat situation. And it's about a state that I've never been to. I met a boy at a songwriting camp that reinvigorated my inspiration for the process of songwriting. And then I got kind of interested in that state because he was from that state, and I've never been to that state, so I was curious about that state, and so I did a Wikipedia search about that state, and I wrote a song about a state I don't know. So in a way, I guess that state haunts me because I haven't been there yet. But I have learned a lot about that state since I've been playing it out, so.
Well, you self-produced this album, which it's fantastic, by the way. I love the songs on this album. I can't stop playing them. It's not easy to do as a rising artist. What was your strategy for trying to get this album done? And I'm really hoping that you didn't have to sell a kidney to do it.
Luckily, I didn't. I didn't really have a strategy. Normally with songwriting, I do it piecemeal, song at a time as I can afford it. I was approached by a company, or a recording company in Boston who has a really neat program. I'm not going to go too much into it, but they basically had a crowdfunding campaign part of their process or part of their business attached to it. So I'm from what I gleaned, is that they approach artists with a little bit of a following, and then they say, hey, do you have songs you want to record? We'll help you raise the funds for this, and then you can come out to our studio and we will professionally record it for you. And I have done recordings in studios before, but I've never had a producer, and that was a very fun and interesting process to work with somebody who had an ear and a vision outside of my own head and my own storytelling to say, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, let's make these things sound the best way that they can so that it can tell your story in the best way that your story wants to be told. And it just ended up sounding amazing, and my producer, Carter Sanders, was great, and the process was amazing, and I would recommend it to anyone who wanted to do it. And we got some really great songs out of it, and I'm so happy with how it sounds.
Are there any special tracks on this album that are particularly meaningful to you?
I mean, that's like choosing children. That's like Sophie's Choice. I can't. I love all of them. I think the song that I think was the most difficult to write was Without Strings, because it was such a personal, challenging event in my life. And this person was so challenging to me, and it showed me a lot about what I wanted for myself in a way that I knew I was approaching it inauthentically. And so it gave me answers that I didn't know how to ask for. And so that's kind of why I love that song.
We have more with Emily in just a moment, including a live performance. Don't change the channel now. Sidewalks Entertainment will continue.
Sex without strings.
Sidewalks theme song and additional music produced and performed by Gerald Orsino. Visit her at her website at djgerald.com.
So yeah, this is Nebraska, a state I've never been to. One day I hope to go there. And every time I play it, I learn something new about that state. So I'm interested in how much more I can learn about it. Hey there, Nebraska, have you got a song for me? It's just your iridescent kindness is really all I need. So this bag of bones of mine, I have traveled round the world, but you show up and sing, and suddenly I am a little girl. Nebraska, the sun is raining shadows from above. Nebraska, I have never been to Omaha, so please send her my love. You tell me tales of Washington as if she's done you wrong, trying to fit the distance neatly as you can into a song. And you're clinging to the faded walls you paint her out to be, but I'm sure she misses you as much as I will when I leave. Nebraska, she is out there wondering why it took so long. Nebraska, seen the River Platte, so let me tag along.
Yes, love it. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring us with that. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking.
So where can people download the music from?
Yeah, so the Haunted album is available streaming on any platform. So just Spotify, Bandcamp, yeah, it's paying for it, but Apple, I don't know, I'm streaming Pandora. I'm so old, I don't remember where you can stream. Literally anywhere you can stream, you can probably find it. So just Emily Zisman, the Haunted album.
Love it. So let's talk a little bit about your career. You've been playing music a long time. Do you have a performance that is most memorable to you?
I would say the EP, the album that I released, or the EP that I released before the Haunted album, is called New Mythologies, and I did spring a little bit I was invited to play at the Pleasanton Firehouse Art Center. And it's a beautiful little venue in Pleasanton, and I invited everyone that I knew, and we got a good little crowd, and I was able to come up with a storytelling / songwriting presentation of that album, and it was just so much fun, and I got to tell my stories, and I ended up getting a standing ovation, which, you know, for an artist is like, you don't ask for that. Like, that's a gift given to you. So that was a very special moment. I just have so many small moments when I play, even in the twice a month gig that I have at the local wine bar here in San Francisco. If you're ever in San Francisco, go to Castro and go to Blush Wine Bar. It's one of my favorite places. But I have little moments with people there that make any time I go play so worthwhile. Like, for me, it's about the connection with the people I'm singing to. So I can be on stage and have a great time, but the things that really bring me joy is when I look at somebody in the audience and I can see that they're picking up the story. I can see that they're relating to it. And somebody comes to me afterwards and they're like, I had this experience, and then you get to exchange stories. Those are the moments that make my performance worthwhile to me and why I show up and perform.
One more segment with Emily after this quick break. From hosts, producers, and our technical crew, Sidewalks is produced by a creative group of individuals. We hope you continue to watch us on TV and visit us on our website. Thank you for being a part of Sidewalks Entertainment.
Hi, I'm Emily Zisman, and in my song, Turn the Mirror, I unpack the story of Medusa and give her her own ending. Here is Turn the Mirror on Sidewalks Entertainment.
Carving stone, just in case you've come to take me. I've been busy carrying weight of it all, the grief and the hate. I've called you here to take defeat into my own hands. If my death be the only refuge from the siege of me, it will be me. It will be me. I will take accountability. I will use you to set me free. Turn the mirror on me. Turn the mirror on me. Calcified room. It's not my choice, but my sovereign duty. They come swinging shields, thinking they'll steal what I'm freely giving. I've only ever longed to live in the world you've buried me under, but your immortal tales still speak my name, and so I live forever. Don't look at me, no. Don't look at me, oh. See me, see me, see me. I'm called to heal, to take defeat into my own hands. If my death be the only peace from the handmaid, it will be me. It will be me. I will take responsibility. I will use you to set me free. I will use you to set me free. I will use you to set me free. Turn the mirror on. Turn the mirror on me. Turn the mirror on me. Turn the mirror
How do you prepare to perform live? Do you do anything special?
I play all the time, like literally all the time. I don't give myself the chance to bow out of the practice of playing. I always thought that when I grew up that once I learned a song it would never go away, which is not the case. I forget my own lyrics all the time. So just not giving myself a chance to forget any stories that I have to tell, and just telling them over and over again. And they make them better. The more I practice telling the stories, the more nuanced they become. And the more I hear from other people and the more stories they tell me, the more vibrant my stories become.
What's been the biggest challenge that you've faced in your musical career to date?
Visibility, being heard, like on not on a stage, because when I'm performing, people are hearing me, but getting my songs out to a broader audience. The industry changes so rapidly and so dynamically, and the things that they look for aren't necessarily the things that I offer. So trying to figure out a way that my story will be heard and visible to the most amount of people is challenging because it changes all the time.
As we close today, what do you want people to remember and take away from the music that you write and perform?
I hope that the way I tell stories helps people feel seen in their stories. Like, that's what I want. I want for people to hear my songs and go, no one said it that way before, because that's what I heard when I listened to Joni Mitchell. That's what I hear when I listen to Emmylou Harris. That's what I heard when I was listening to Ani DeFranco in Central Park when I bought her first album. I said, I didn't know that other people felt this way, and that's what I want.
Thank you so much for being with us today on Sidewalks. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Cindy. It's so much fun to talk to you about this. Thank you.
I've been trying for days, for weeks, for months, for years, just to leave this town, just to leave this town. There's something in the water, in the air, in the grass, in the ground, keeping me around, keeping me around.